participate in the first 2 weeks. And so they will get withdrawn if they don't post to the discussion board, they don't complete a quiz, or they don't submit an assignment. And so we've kind of went back and forth on like exactly what we need to be pulled. So like basically this is what we need to be pulled. If it's not right, then we withdraw a student, or the opposite, we can get ourselves into trouble.
I see. Okay, thank you for explaining. I'm sorry if you already did that.
Yeah, and then throughout the session, the students do have to participate. So like at the midterm point, we'll look again. And if the student hasn't participated, we have a certain cutoff date. And if the student hasn't participated, then we will withdraw them, and they'll get a W for the course. So there's like 2 kind of participation policies that are banking on this report reflecting accurately.
Okay, sounds good.
And originally we were hoping to get, rather than like how many assignments submitted, we were hoping to have like actual dates by those. But that didn't happen. So I mean, if there's any way that can change to like, so it actually shows like whatever the last date that they participated on the I don't know if the report's capable of that, but like if when like I pull it today, if they participated on the forum today, just to show that last form, because when I was talking to Kat, she kept thinking I meant I needed to see every single time the student posted to a forum, and that's not actually what I needed. What I needed to know is like, when's the last time, when I pull this report, when's the last time she posted to a discussion? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes it does.
And so we really wanted that for the forum, the quizzes, and the assignments, the submit assignments, but instead we got these kind of numbers, which works right now for the sake of, you know, students who have never participated in the quarter polling. But when we get to midterms, it's going to take a lot more work on our end to determine, you know, when they did that.
Okay. Okay. I think we can get that date added.
Okay.
I just had a crazy thought. And so anybody can strike me down if this is just not logical, but I know the ticket that you were covering, you know, things in progress about the report in. And you had some back and forth, which is part of the reason that we're talking. So my crazy thought was, do you think it would be reasonable, Christina, to summarize like what you like about the report, what you don't like, and sort of give us just a little follow-up blurb, like here's what I still want, here's what I, you know, don't like or don't need, and here's what's working really well, just so that, you know, we don't have to, like even on our end, Kristen to try to catch herself up to speed with what you've covered with Sherry previously and building the report, and give us sort of a fresh start. Does that seem like a good idea, or am I just being crazy? You can talk.
I mean, I think, yeah, it's like, obviously we've been through several iterations of this report, but I think, you know, now that we're adding Kristen to the mix, I think it would be helpful to get a level set to it, which I think you just sort of gave us, you know, some clarity on, you know, what the report isn't giving you that you're expecting to see.
Oh, okay.
Right, and if there's any other, I'm sorry, I was just going to say, if there's any other items, you know, similar to that last activity date that sort of were eliminated along the journey here, those are the things I'd want to know about, so I could maybe revisit those and confirm, you know, whether or not we can, you know, meet all of your wishes in the report.
Yeah, I mean, I think the report's definitely better than what we had before. Like, I think finally we got to a point where, like, you know, when I talked to Vanessa, we finally got to a point where it's like it has the things that we're looking at. It's just not functioning in the way that, like, is most beneficial for us. But also, like, but my one caveat is I don't know if report is actually functioning correctly, because I can see that there's one student who's showing that she submitted assignments. And so I'm guessing it's probably showing that she submitted assignments in her previous class, or so I speculate one of two things has happened. Either that assignment submitted is showing what she submitted in her previous quarters here, or it's pulling it off based on the grade book. Like maybe the instructor put a 0 in the grade book for that.
Okay.
But either way, that doesn't function the way it's supposed to be functioning.
Okay. And forgive me, I know this has been somewhat of a journey for you, but what keeps coming to mind for me is a report that we just did for another client who was looking for this same kind of information. And I see that you've narrowed it down to the things that you want to track, but I wonder if you might be open to looking at what we're tracking for this other client, just for your own background. It's possible you might look at that and go, oh yeah, I want to track that too. Or you might look at it and say, no, that's not important to us here. But I wonder if there might be some value in showing you what we're pulling for this other client.
I do think that like Kate or somebody did put some kind of report into our Moodle shell for like or into the report shell for a little bit.
So that's
didn't really. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where we started the conversation. Was I added a student participation report from another client as a starting point to say, does this give you what you want? And then that's the point at which Sherry got involved in the conversation to say, okay, this report isn't what you want. What do you want? And so if I could just share my screen for a minute, I just want to make sure I understand everything correctly.
So I think that means Christina has to stop share first. Is that?
Yeah, I can't grab it from you.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, just because I'm not the host. All right, so if I filter the report by spring 2019 and I look up Erica White right now, it is showing that it is confirming that she has never accessed her spring 2019 courses. So Christina, can you clarify for me, are you saying it was showing something different yesterday?
Yeah, but yeah. None of these assignments submitted, see on the right-hand side?
Uh-huh.
Those didn't show. So it shows that she has 5 in this class, 1 in this class, 1 in that class. That was not showing.
Okay. Yeah, I think, so Kristen can drill into this issue now. If they have never accessed the course, how is it that they have 5 submitted assignments associated with them?
Yeah.
So I think we have our finger on the issue now.
So, and then that brings up the point of like, okay, so because we're basically filtering out by these assignments submitted. So if this isn't pulling right, then maybe like we're actually much further away from all of the students returning than we thought we were.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw some, all of her previous activity was from the fall, so. Okay, well, we can dig into that and there could be something off in the logic of the report that's throwing that count off.
Kristen, is that one student example enough for you to work with, or is like a secondary example, should there be one, is that even better? Does it not matter? I ask because I know you're the expert there. Yeah, well, I know Christina's patience is probably wearing thin, so I don't want to trouble you, Christina, to send any more examples at this point. I think I can work with that one and then do some additional validation myself before we send you anything again to look at.
Okay. Do you know when, I guess I'm just trying to I just want to make sure that we're dropping, because we have to drop the students on Friday. And so I have a very
Okay.
short runway at this point, and this is,
So are you?
Okay, no, I can appreciate that, and I can. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're probably saying the same thing. Go for it. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I will make this a top priority this afternoon to get this fixed for you ASAP.
Okay, perfect. And I know in one of the tickets I had like language because Tina and I had language as far as what we were looking at for assignments, because I know that sometimes students turn in drafts. And they were supposed, they were supposed to take it off for this session, but I still see students turning in drafts, so I don't know why that's still happening.
I think that's
So,
oh, go ahead. I'm thinking out loud.
are you saying that the report is not supposed to pull if they submit a draft, or
No, well,
it is supposed to pull?
the thing is, like, instructors were like, oh, like they submitted a draft. Like, instructors can still see it as a draft, so we've been telling instructors to like grade it even though it's a draft. And so we were trying to take that away, and somebody told me that they were going to take it away for the entire college, but they couldn't do it during the session, so they would have to do it for spring. But now I've seen some of the students turning in drafts again, so I know that didn't happen.
Okay, so I believe based on my understanding is, you brought this up before, you wanted to turn off the ability for students to submit, their work as drafts. So we did turn that off at the site level. I'm just confirming now that was the change we made, but that doesn't affect existing assignments. So we talked about those would need to be updated in the template. And perhaps, Kristen, there might be a value in the database. We could switch to update all assignments for that. But I think that was our concern, is we didn't want to do that in the middle of the term without your, express permission to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that I can go into 186. I mean, like, even our master shells, there's still like a ton of master shells. There's just no way. And like, so like in a master shell, if there's an assignment due each week, so like 11 weeks, so that's 11. And then think about the number of master shells, like that. There's no way I can do that.
We might be able to help you with that. I do that quite a bit for our clients, especially when they're faced with a situation similar to this one. The deciding factor will be is if I can actually find the setting in the database and safely update it for you without causing any other issues. So most of the time we're able to come through for our clients with that. So I can take a look at that too if you need me to.
Okay, yeah. I mean, as long as it doesn't, like I said, as long as it doesn't cause any issues. But I mean, then if that can't be the case, then we still have to, the submit assignment should still reflect that they've turned something in, even if it's a draft, just because.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, it's activity.
A lot of the students think that like, a lot of the students just turn them in always as drafts and then ask why they're not graded. So like, they're not kind of using it as a way of, they don't look at it as like a draft process. They're looking at it as like they accidentally clicked the wrong button and they turned it in.
Okay. Well, we can add that to the list, and I'll check that out too this afternoon.
Great. Christina, how do you feel where we are with the report concern, the nuance about the assignment status? Do we have any more to say about that, or do you want to share anything else that's been on your mind?
No, I mean, I can't find there's so many tickets. I don't see, because Kat had me put the exact language for like what we were looking for, and I think I see
that. Yeah.
I can go through it, but I can't at this point. I'm like looking through tickets to try to figure out where we put it.
Okay. Is it where, looks like it was after a phone call that I know Claire for sure was on, and we said, can you give more details on what you're expecting with the external tool? Then number 2, do you want this to be course specific or just user specific? Is that what you're referring to in terms of when you replied with some specifics and details?
I found it. It says, yeah, so it was supposed to have submission created.
Yep.
Quiz attempt started or quiz attempt submitted, and
Yep.
then any forum. It had to have any forum because I think last time the report was created, it was created in a way that like wasn't picking up the forums that we use. So they said it had to have any forum, and then we had post created or some content has been
posted. Yep.
Okay.
We're looking at the same thing. Okay, great. Okay.
And then we have one other thing that we need to do. We need to Elsevier, like nursing and medical assisting is going to be implementing SurePath. And so I need somebody from the eThink team to be part of that implementation.
Sure. I actually think Elsevier is, aren't they the reason that you and I talked for the first time? Weren't we on it?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't I join you and you can just send me any details or day, time requests, etc. And let me know what you're thinking, and I'll join you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because we just need to get we need to do like the same thing that we did with Cengage. So basically we need to put that link for SharePath into the external tools.
Okay.
Is there a way that we have some one-off situations where we have, instructors that we have to remove from a course quite quickly? And even if we remove them from our SSO system, it still doesn't sync with Moodle until that morning time. There has to be a better way that we can do this because, in some situations, instructors have posted inappropriate things or have reached out to the whole class base, and I don't have the rights to stop them.
Yeah.
You could go in and suspend their account.
That's what I was thinking too.
That prevents them from being able to log in, and that's something you have the power to do in
Okay.
Moodle without involving IT. And then the account should also get suspended, within IT as well if you want that change to stick. But that's
Gotcha.
a measure.
Are you familiar with how to do that? Like go to your browse list of users page and find them and just kind of close the eye next to their.
Why don't you?
Yeah, I was thinking I could show that if you wanted. So let me go ahead and share out my screen. Just to kind of give you that quick. So you would go into your site admin menu and go to users, and then the top item is browse list of users, and you would just find whomever it might be that you needed to take that quick action on. And then on the Moodle side, what you could do is, let's just say it was Aaliyah, you would come over here and just click here to close the eye, which essentially then is what Claire's saying, it suspends that user. So you're basically kind of like turning them off in a way. But in order to really make it stick, you would then make the change in your SIS or, like you're saying, or wherever, on your side that's done. Because that way, both of those two pieces, Moodle and that, directory, they're talking to each other and they're on the same page,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just checking with Jesse now. My concern is that you could make the manual change, but then it could become unsuspended again later if the account is still active on the side.
Right.
So I'm confirming that with them now, but.
Yeah. Good. I think it's good to double check ourselves. I'm pretty sure you're right there, Claire. That if they're not ever taken out of, your larger system and then they log into Moodle's going to think, oh, okay, well, they're logging in. Let me reopen this back up to them kind of thing. I think you're right, but good to go to the expert, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm double checking now. He doesn't think it should unsuspend, but he's going to check for me.
Okay, cool. All right, that'll be good to know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a quick way, that you could sort of take immediate action there without involving other teams, but continued on the final resolution with what would happen. So.
And then so we've had some one-off situations where we've had to walk a faculty member down from kind of going to the sun, and so we've taken away one of their courses, but we still left them in another course. Is there?
That would have to be managed through college.
Yeah.
So if I needed that done ASAP, I would need to contact you guys.
No, so that's coming from colleague. So you would want to pull that instructor out in colleague, and then if you logged in as that instructor, that would take them out of their course. Or you could contact us and say, hey, we just updated the enrollments for instructor X. Can you please, I want to make sure they get removed from course Y, and we could do it for you.
Okay.
Does that make sense with the login as, Christina?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Great.
So Jesse thinks that it shouldn't get unsuspended if you manually suspend it. But the next time you run into that, Christina, if we could, or if you could give us a user we could test with,
Gotcha.
That would be the best way to make certain that's the case.
Okay, perfect.
Anything else on your mind?
No, I think that's all of my questions. Yeah, I mean, just the report, and then I'll get back to Omar, and hopefully we can get him into next week's meeting.
Yes, absolutely. I think that'll be a huge win for us, is to have him review that code, take a look, see if there's anything, a nuance off there, and then that'll give us somewhere to dig in and really figure out what's going on, and then, again, resolve that. Same thing with the report, get it put behind you and get everything working to your liking. So let's see if we can't nudge Omar a little bit. And if you want me to send another reminder or anything in the email, just so it's coming from eThink as well, I can certainly do that too. If you think that would be helpful.
No, I'll follow up with Omar.
Okay. Do you want to meet next week, since we have his missing piece yet to consider, or do you want to ask him if there's a better time? Not necessarily Wednesday at this time, but any other time? What are your thoughts there in terms of just touching base on that particular piece?
Yeah, let me touch base with him and see if Wednesdays work for him. I know that they have an executive leadership meeting, but I don't necessarily know if it meets every week. So let me talk to him and see if then he can jump in with us. If not, then I can just give you kind of what his availability is.
Sure, absolutely. And you're welcome to use the ticket that we have that's tracking the enrollments. You're welcome to use that and just reply there. It's the same one that you just sent the Excel document as an attachment, so you can use that. Or if you're finding yourself digging through your inbox and don't have the time to do that, you can send in a separate ticket. Just address it to me and say, hey, Vanessa, this is the availability we have. And you can just send it in newly like that, and I'll be watching for it either way.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Great.
All righty.
Well, thank you for the rest of your day.
Me today. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.